Welcome back to the Glocal Collective, the series where we sit down with the bold founders shaping the future of business, one brand at a time. I am Komal Badar, your host for today, and let me introduce you to today's guest of ours is Viktoriia Rieva, the founder of Create and the creative mind behind SaltBorn Creative, a Dubai-based brand identity studio built on emotional storytelling. Wika works with ambitious founders to transform invisible businesses into distinctive, credibility driving brands. From real estate to sustainable wellness, her work speaks for herself. Wika, so great to have you over here. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
I'm good. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. I'm feeling good and yeah, so excited to be on the podcast, honestly.
I hope I pronounced your name right.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Victoria
Everybody calls me
Rieva.
Vika, which is,
Vika.
sorry?
Can we go with Vika? It's
Yeah,
much
that's
more
perfect.
easier. Amazing. See, Saltborn Creative is a really nice concept that you have come up with. I want to understand, and I've been meaning to ask you this question today. I have the chance to do it. So, why Saltborn Creative? What made you to choose that name? Where did it come from? What's the philosophy behind it?
I think first of all, I wanted to steer away from the corporate, names and all of that, and to attach it more to my identity and also the work, the transformation that I promise to my clients when I work with them. So first of all, salt born, something bold from salt, and salt is it's an essence that gives flavor to things, to especially food, like when you
Very
think about it,
mindful,
right?
yes.
So in my process, we dive deep into the essence of brand to take out the most important and to translate it visually for people to connect with it, essentially for the audience. And then the other meaning is that I am a scuba diver. I have a rescue scuba
Ooh, I
diving
didn't know
license.
that about you. So interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to give like a quick connection to that as well. Salt is, I like the sea and I like to be in the sea
Now it
diving.
makes
So
much more sense to me. Saltborn Creative. I'll be able to explain it much better to people now. Saltborn Creative. Scuba diving. That's very interesting. How long have you been doing that?
since 2017. So I think what, 9 years now?
And are you like a professional instructor? I think they're called PADI, or how does that work?
Yeah, they have two licenses. There is SSI and PADI. I'm a PADI certified, and I'm a rescue scuba diver. So
Wow.
it's like a licenses levels. Then after rescue scuba diver, you can go for dive master and then instructor. But I'm not considering it as a career. I did it just mostly for myself to be more confident in my skills and maybe
So
help
I
others
think
as well.
it's safe to say that you're saving people's brands' identities, and you're, on the other hand, are able to save their life as well. So it works both ways. Well done.
Yes.
Very smart. Very smart. And you've been speaking about the brand identity that is, rooted in your emotional storytelling, the way you take brand from vision to visibility. That's what I like to use the word. And how do you put that into practice? And what's the different when it comes to your design, your creativity, and the elements? Walk us through that.
Thank you for the question. Coming back to, the essence and the roots, when we start the project, usually I really take care on getting to know business really well and the brand, what it stands for, and finding ways how we can differentiate it through emotional storytelling. So we really infuse a bit of stories of the founders, of distinctive stories of the business and brand especially, and we try to put it into those visual elements that can translate it visually. And it's not only logo, it's a complex of different elements, right? It's typography and colors and proportions, a
Mhm.
composition, how you put it all together. It's all strategically done so that we tell a story, and storytelling is something that people connect with very
Yeah,
quickly.
absolutely.
And yeah, I'm trying to steer away from the just corporate, dry branding, and mostly do it a little bit like alive. It's like a live entity
A little
that
bit
we, put it on.
personalized. What describes you as a person should reflect on your brand, right? You don't really have
Yeah.
to go to with the norm that is there now, aesthetics or certain colors. But anything can be a good brand, anything can be a good color reflection of yourself, and you're doing it beautifully. Any examples that you'd like to give us of your client stories that was very challenging for you as a brand to take on, and how did you tackle those as a founder?
I think I can't say that it something that was specifically very different. Sometimes when you work with clients, they do have a specific, idea that they want
Yeah.
to bring it to. Um, and when you, but I try to show them different side of how things can be done in a way,
Mhm.
and usually it goes quite well because I really attach, I really align the story with the
Some
with
clients have
the
very crazy ideas, they just come up with, hey, we want this and we want that. But when you look at their brand, it doesn't really go with, what kind of story they're trying to tell and what kind of brand they are or the services they provide. But however, the ideas behind it would be crazy, but it won't match. So I'm pretty sure you deal with those clients as well, and it does get challenging at sometimes to make them understand or see a different perspective of yours, like you were mentioning as well. Do you find yourself in pickle sometimes?
Mm, maybe.
Honest, Victoria. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we always
I,
do.
I think especially one point, like one element that I find clients very attached to is a color. They come with me to me with a specific idea that they want to use this color. So I try to honor it as much as possible. And then, if they tell me, okay, so this is the colors that we want to
Yeah.
use, but the story is completely different, then we need to find a way how to make this whole thing work with to balance it with another elements,
Mm-hmm.
let's say with typography or with uh, like visual elements, maybe
Yeah.
some imagery or things like this. So I do try to honor it as much as possible. And the most important, of course, is communication. If I don't feel like it's aligned with the strategy,
Yeah.
with what they want to trying to say, I make sure to tell them about it in a very professional way, of course, not like attacking,
I can
but very professionally.
totally relate
And
to you about what you have said about, the colors. If you come up with someone who's coming to you with a very specific color, we're in a process of revamping our website, and I'm working with a new set of team that we have now for branding and all of those things. And I came there, you know what? I like yellow. I want more of a yellow color. And they're like, no, you can't have the full page yellow. It doesn't look good. And then they did all of their things, and I'm like, okay, now I think it looks much better. So yeah, if you leave the creative side to the creative people, that's much better. So I can totally relate when you mention that example of yours. And when you say that, first of all, tell us a bit more about your ideal target audience. Who are they? And what are you looking for? And how can SaltBorn Creative help them? Walk us through the process that you go through with your client.
so yeah, I try to collaborate with founders who own their ambition. That's how it reads on my, socials on my website.
Yeah.
And this is a client in a specific time that they've tried things in their brand and they've been trying things and probably doesn't work that well. So they really look for something that can support their business long term. So it's just like they're probably scaling their business and they want a system that will, eliminate all the second guessing and,
Yeah.
reinventing the wheel all the time. So that kind of client. And the internal transformation is, of course, certainty that we're talking about, and also clarity in their brand and
Mhm.
what they can talk about. It's like we when I do branding, we do focus on a brand story, which is like it's a brand strategy. We call it brand story, right? So
Yeah.
we create the whole um, document for them, and then we can align everything visually to that as well. So
Mhm.
the brand story, it also includes how they talk. It's not only the visual elements but also a bit of marketing, I would say, but in an
Yeah.
emotional way. So how they talk, what kind of phrases they're using, how they're putting themselves out there. So it's everything is matters, it's not only the visual part, but it's a cohesive kind of like
I mean,
experience.
creativity has no boundaries, so it comes, with different elements. It's creative when someone is creative. The playground is really really big, so you can play as you like, and you can be as creative as you like, but it won't be everyone's cup of tea. So That's very interesting what you said, and I think it comes with its own challenges as well. So I want to know, like, what's the biggest mistake you see founders make when it comes to their brand, especially in a market as competitive and visual as Dubai? Like everybody is into marketing, everybody is into creative fields, and everybody wants to show you their own way of, hey, if you do this way, then you're gonna have more exposure, more visibility, or your brand would look nice. So how do you tackle all of these things?
I
And
think a lot of
any, sorry, just to repeat that, I would like to know that if from your perspective, any mistakes that you'd like to highlight as well.
I think a lot of times they're missing on connection part when they're trying to really, put their brand out there. And the connection also comes from the how you portray yourself, how you look like. So you're trying to really attract your tribe, your people. And then the other thing is the consistency, because we are all, the trends are always evolving and we are swarmed by different trends every other day. So I think it's very tempting to follow that. And that comes from not knowing exactly what you stand for, what your brand personality is, and then you trying different things and seeing, like, you're throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. But the downside of that is that people can forget about you. Basically, they when you often change how you look, you don't, your recognizability comes to zero, because every time you are there, people, it's a new thing, right?
Yeah,
So that's another thing. And one of this is what branding systems helps you with. When you have everything in place, it just becomes way easier. You don't have to second guess anything. Creating content becomes easier, so all of that. Yeah,
absolutely.
but it's mostly for small business owners, I think, pertaining to small business owners, because they're doing everything themselves. They don't have support to do
Mm-hmm.
that. It's natural. And I think it's a part of the process as well. You're
That's
trying
true.
to
Learn
try
a
different
bit
things.
and pivot a bit and see, push your limits, see how, what can you do and how creative you can get before you get someone on board. And it's fair as well, but at the same time, when you're in a phase of scaling, I think no founder should scale alone. Everybody needs help, and the right help can be really, really beneficial for you. Like what you're doing as well. It's so great. Any trends that you'd like to highlight right now? What's trending when it comes to creativity? Anything that we should know as founders to implement?
In in terms of visual assets, we are now leaning more into like bolder colors, expressiveness, into like big typography and grungier looks. And I see that a lot, especially on social media, that like textured looks of the fonts, of the imagery and things like this. But again, I think it's also the person you're drawn personally towards different styles,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just different. I think different types as well, typography, like connected different, but it should be that actually to differentiate things. um yeah, what else I can think, but I think this is the main thing that I'm seeing everywhere now in
Yeah,
terms
like
of brand.
trending colors, like you said, rightly said, that bold colors, neon colors, bright colors. These are what we're seeing is trending these days, isn't it?
Yes.
So, when we are speaking about the process, like I understand you have a tight focus process, which is based on strategy, concept, refine, launch. That what you mentioned on your website as well. So, how do you get founders who often come in with very fixed ideas to trust that process? What's your salt formula there?
I think especially when my clients didn't work with branding agency or brand designer before, they think probably that it just comes like, naturally. I create things, that, but
Pippity
there is a
poppity
big
boo.
yeah, I'll just pick up my, whatever Illustrator and I will just create something. But it doesn't work that way, because we really need to go deeper through in the process that I mentioned before, discovering the brand story, and then from there we take everything. So I really don't have pushback on that. My clients usually they trust my process. Sometimes though, because I do create presentation and I walk them through everything what I created. I do Loom videos, and sometimes when the iteration comes, probably there is no need to create another presentation. Maybe it's something small. I go again into creating presentation, and my clients, like my last clients is like, why do you have to to do it all the time again? Just give me, send me quickly the, what you have to, what you changed. And I think it's like, it's like, oh yeah, I can do that. So, but I try to be professional in that way, but,
Sometimes people
and
don't really
um,
understand, how our creative minds work, and especially a person like you who is in a creative field and playing with colors, speaking to people, understanding their minds, their brands, and their ideas as well. We just need sometimes a little bit of time and space to see if this actually works. Maybe you have something really great in mind, but it's not worth it, or it's not going to be great for you. So I think people really need to, um, you know, start opening up their minds and be able to accept different perspectives that people like yourself are bringing into their brands and into, the creative field. And look at the bigger picture. Where do you see Salt Born Creative going and the branding industry is going? Especially when the AI tools are becoming a part of the creative workflow. AI is everywhere. So I will not just want us to talk about, hey, you know what, AI is here. Let's talk about that. What's going to happen? Is it going to put stop in our, work? But what do you think about it? Where is the branding industry heading?
thank you for this question. I just want to add something on the previous one
Yeah,
before I jump into
yeah, yeah.
future of branding and AI. I think it's very important also to challenge the ideas when clients come with you with something that specific they want to do, and then you have to ask them why and how does it really serve your purpose, your brand. So, and a lot of times when you also explain them that probably this is not the right direction and here is what I have instead of it, and then we try to come up with with solution that also makes them comfortable because it's their brand at the end of the day, and also serves the purpose. So it's very important to ask the questions and not just follow whatever your client wants to do. And I think it's one of the uh, points that when you work with people, like they're working with me as a human and I'm also working with them as human, communication should be there and understanding should be there, and we're all working towards the same goal,
Same
is
goal.
creating a
Yeah.
distinctive, incredible brand, essentially. So in terms of where the branding is going, I think it's not going anywhere. I mean,
Bravo.
it's gonna stay.
This is what we'd
It's
like to
gonna stay
hear.
because we need it more than ever. And you see, like for me, AI, it's a brilliant tool. Honestly,
Yeah.
I use it. I know that a lot of designers, they're quite skeptical about it. They don't trust it, or they think that it's just maybe they're intimidated by AI and what it can do. I think it's great, and in the hands of professional, it's just it can
You
create so
mentioned
much better results.
it's really interesting tool. These days a lot of advancements are coming into older AI tools as well, which is great. You don't have to be really, really professional or have an eye for all of these things, but if you know how to prompt it right, if you know what exactly you want, and why do we need a human element like yourself over here? Is that basically because we will be able to translate that language really well into work, while it will take me 1 hour or more to translate or to make my machine understand exactly what I want, because I'm not a professional and I don't have the terminology to make that AI understand. But however, if I'm having, like you said, human element speaking to you, it will be much more easier because you understand what I want even without using those terminology. And I think that's beautiful. It's not going anywhere.
Yes, yes, definitely. And for me, specifically for designing, I know that a lot of people think we're just pixel pushers, but in on the other hand, is the details that actually matter. If let's say I can talk to AI and say, I just want to this border to have 12 pixels radius, but like normal person, because I've tried and tested it so many times and I
Mm,
already know what I want. And I have the vision how I want things to look, right? Person who, and it comes for any industry, for accounting, for
yeah,
finances, for
true.
writing, anything.
Mhm.
You really need to know your stuff to be able to have better results, I think. So it's a great tool. And let's say if you think about creating brand identities with AI, before AI, you could do that too. It's not that AI is changing. Like Canva was there for a long time, and it's great tool for small business owners who don't have budget to, invest in identity and to actually maintain
Mhm.
the presence of their brand visually. So it's great. At some point, probably if you want to level up, you want to upscale, and that comes with different, budgets and different
Yeah,
people who you actually are able to hire. And it's return of investment as
that
well,
is
right?
true.
You're looking at it as investment. So yeah, that is just not going anywhere, and it's great. I think it's going to get better. I'm very positive about it, honestly. I use it for more internal work and
Yeah.
analyzing specific things because it just makes it faster. If I do it by myself, it takes me longer. So that's why.
Absolutely. I mean, AI is everywhere. I'm also using it for work and, but obviously cross-checking it if this is something that I really want to present it or I really want to do it or no. But it's a great learning tool as well. It's a learning curve for all of us. And we have to adapt to it, accept it. This is here. It's not going anywhere. But how you utilize it and use it, you're a human. If you're not going to give a command, it's not going to do everything automatically, is it? So, you still need human to operate machines as well. So it's not going anywhere and it's not going to affect on any, from my point of view, any industry as such. What's your favorite tool, or is there anything that you would like to share it with your with the listeners of this podcast? Any tools that they can use to make this process easier?
You mean the AI tools?
The AI tools.
I think Claude Cowork is brilliant. You really can. But what I did, I created the folder for them, and mind me, I never had uh, desire to export all my logos as well for my own studio because it's just at my fingertips all the time, so I don't have to. And now, since I have a teammate now, so I have to relay all the information. So I exported everything and created a small brand board. I put it all in the folder. I created a list of what not to do, what phrases not to
Yeah,
use,
of
because we
course you
see
have
a lot
to.
of
Yeah,
repetitiveness in this
yeah,
space, and
yeah.
just it's just turning off. I don't know how for everybody, but it turns me off definitely when I see specific AI
Yeah,
phrases.
AI phrases. And you can obviously identify those as well. What are the AI phrases that we're using in daily writing as well, or be it in creative work or any sort of field? We'd understand that it's machine language. So it's important to, narrow down those things and try to avoid using it. And how would people connect with you if they need to?
Um, I would strongly advise to apply through my website.
Okay.
So there
Which
is a
is,
link to
yeah,
SaltBorn Creative. Yeah,
saltborncreative.com.
saltborncreative.com. There's a link to a discovery meeting and application form together. And why I strongly advise, because before you come for the meeting with me, I already know about your business and I have an idea how I can help you. So that's one of the things. Otherwise, a lot of conversations, actually, just a simple, genuine conversation that I had
Yeah.
with founders. They were like, "Okay, that's great. Let's have a conversation."
I think
And
it's very
definitely,
important, Rika, that we need to have conversations more than meeting. Because when people are just coming for meetings, they think that there's not going to be a conversation and it's always going to be about the business. But it's really great that you are booking discovery calls, which is amazing. And I recommend everybody. I've worked with the Victoria personally as well, and she's amazing. You should definitely have a conversation with her.
yeah. This is game changer, and especially when you are trusting someone with your brand, you definitely need to have to know what kind of person they are, what their
Exactly.
process is, and to tell
Yeah.
them about as a human, as a
Get
human.
to know each other first before you get into business, right? And
Yes.
that gives you trust, credibility, and it also increases the chances for you to work in future or referrals as well. So this is a great step into. Anything you'd like to share before we close down our episode for today regarding Saltborn Creative? Any adventures or new projects or any announcements that you'd like to make?
I recently revamped my service offer because I was focusing on the website designs as well. But now I'm just fully into brand identity. This is my zone of genius. And I want to help businesses as much as possible in this area to niche down a little bit more. Maybe in the future it will come back. And then I also think about, because I have a lot of requests about social media. I don't really manage social media, but I'm thinking about the ways how I can still support businesses, maybe creating a pack of templates for them, for LinkedIn and for Instagram, because there's plenty of templates. And still also, I think I'm asking myself about the same thing. There's plenty of templates, but still people want to differentiate
Yeah.
somehow on the social
Yeah.
media. So I try to approach it as well from my approach to have like a solid system in place so that they can use in the template. So this is one of the things that I'm working on, and yeah, that's, I
Perfect.
think.
Amazing. I mean, I hope after this year you'll get to be in the creative field more, and more people would love to connect with you, have a conversation with you, and take SaltBorn Creative to the place where it deserves. Thank you so much, Rika. This has been such a great conversation. It's clear that for you, branding is never just the surface level. It's all about building something that truly represents the value of a founder, like you rightly said, and bringing that to the world. For anyone who's listening right now or who's been sitting on the fence about their brand, I hope this is the push you need. Get in touch with SaltBorn Creative and with us. So you can find Wika and SaltBorn Creative Studio at saltborncreative.com. Is this right?
Yes.
And on the Instagram that is already mentioned above, SaltBorn Creative. Thank you so much for being on the Glocal Collective. It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
See you.
See you.